guys, we are looking at, this is a nice attic. It's about 88 degrees outside. It's about 75 in this attic. It does have a bleed out damper. This is a system we installed about a week and a half ago, and it goes down there. She's got a lot of unfinished attic space, that storage space way back there in the back that could almost be a living room and a kitchen, and that's how big it is. But she has all this foam down up here. You saw how I had to get up here, right there. But this is the Tam-X. It's about a week and a half old, Tam-10, Tam-X, whichever one you want to call it. And it quit working. Tech came out last night, and the sensor was pinched. From what I'm understanding, the wire was pinched from the factory, the way they packed it in there. But I've got the Train Diagnostics app up. So this is one of those where the CDA display is now gone, and you Bluetooth into the equipment and then pull it up on the app right there. And I don't know how well that displays, but it'll connect to the equipment. You can go in, you have to go in here for your test modes, do your system configuration for your airflow, tonnage, things like that. All the stuff that you used to do in that CDA, you do it on the app now. And system has one alert currently. Let's see what that is. Supply air temperature, sensor, fault, EEV coil temperature sensor error, low superheat occurrence and cooling. So anyway, let's get it opened up and confirmed. He said it was pinched. We keep those on the truck for the Tam 7, 8, and 9. They were all the same sensor across all those models. But this one has a different part number than that one. And because it's going to take until tomorrow for the parts supplier to get the sensor, I wanted to bring the older sensor and see maybe they changed the plug connection. That's why it's a different part number. If it's a 10K sensor, I'm hoping I can just, if the wire's pinched, maybe just cut it out, wire nut, bypass that with wire nuts. And you guys asked me, I think, something about all the silicone caulk and all that stuff on these. Our inspectors, even though there's a sticker that tells you this system is designed to have some air leakage. Small amount of air leaving the air handler means your air handler is operating exactly as designed. Even though it says that, if the inspector comes behind us and finds any air, feels any air blowing out of these things, they'll fail it because they think that's efficiency loss. Jacks of all trades, and absolutely not even close to being an expert at any of them. So anyway, so this is the old, all the other Tam models was this black 10K sensor right here. It would snap to the refrigerant line. And what they've done is the brown wire now, but if you can see, these are different type of sensors than they started using in the outdoor unit. So I'm trying to not get all that air noise on you. It clips on differently. If it plugs up the same, I can put that one in temporarily, which it looks like it might. I can put it in temporarily if my plug will match up over here. Snap it on there and it'll be just fine until we can get this one. So we'll try to get you out of the wind noise. They said it was pinched somewhere. I'm guessing that's going to be somewhere back in here where they run these things. It gets kind of tight. So the outdoor unit is on right now. I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down. And then I'm going to turn it back on. I want to see if this sensor, so I'm going to unhook both of these and I'm going to check them to the attic air. We'll let them sit there for a minute and I should be able to test them the same way that I checked the old ones in the old unit. Alright, I'm going to put the power back on. These are where our plugs, so this is going to be, these are 2 orange wire are our evaporator temperature sensor. These 2 brown wires right there are going to be, and it's labeled on the edge of the board. You can barely see it, but that's going to be our gas temperature sensor. So that's going to be the one on your suction line. And by the way, guys, units and attics, drain pan, especially an upflow, you might want to, I mean, there's a reason they put the overflow drain ports on these things. I see so many people that just hook a primary drain and run it out, and then that one backs up. All you do, if you don't put a trap and a drain line on your overflow port and run that water directly in, because this is going to sit a little higher than your primary, so when the primary clogs, the water raises, will drain and go straight into your pan instead of flooding the equipment and then causing damage and other issues. So I mean, those things are there. We use them. I see a lot of people that don't use those. It just makes it a lot easier and you don't flood the equipment. Now, the install manual doesn't say that you have to. It does show you the option of being able to. So it's just whatever you want to do, whatever your codes are where you are. But you get a case coil on top of a furnace in an upflow situation, and you don't give that water, if the primary clogs, a secondary place to exit and go down into that pan. It's just going to overflow the primary pan, and then it's going to flood down into the furnace through the heat exchanger down into the blower housing, and then you may cause more damage or have more damage resulting from a clogged drain line. So it's just something to keep in mind. Anyway, let me check this sensor real quick and see what kind of DC voltage I'm getting. I have them both hanging out here in this attic air. So there's one there, and there's another one. The other one's down here on the bottom. So by now they should both be pretty close to what the actual temperature is in this attic, which is probably somewhere in the mid 70s. So the first thing I want to do is check to both of them real quick. So we'll go across that one to that one, and I'm getting 1.0, and we'll check this one to this one, and I'm getting 0.9. So they're both reading pretty close. Let's just see what our chart tells us in here. For our, there's your book, tells you how to get connected on the app. But here's the downfall of that. If you want the Train Diagnostics app on your phone, you have to have a Comfort Site account with Train, and to have that, guess what? You got to be a dealer. They are trying their best to make sure that no one can work on their equipment if they're not selling it. So the future is, yeah, 72, 73 degrees on our sensor. So it's about what it is up here. So yeah, they're making it hard for the average person to come out here and work on these things if you're not buying equipment from them. So I mean, it is what it is. So I'm gonna see if I can get this other sensor on. That one's sensing, but there was a wire pinch in that one where they ran it. Let me slide this back in here for you real quick and get it out of the way. But they ran, you see that wire sitting right back in there, and they ran it down in that tight little spot and it got pinched. So I'm gonna swap it out real quick. First thing I need to do, I want to see if this plug matches. If the plug matches, I don't have to splice. I can just plug this thing in and be done with it till we can get back with the actual correct sensor. So This is the one coming from the sensor. It's going to be the male end. I have a male end right there. And looks like I'm going to be able to plug this thing right up. So now, what I want to do is pull this back out and then check the voltage on that sensor. It should be a 10K sensor just like the rest of them, but I want to make sure it matches that one. And it does. So all I gotta do is clip it on there. And like I said, I don't know why they changed. I mean, they changed the way the sensor connects to the pipe is all that was in the color, from a black wire to a brown wire, basically. That's what it looks like. So that's the way the new ones connect to your pipe. And this is the old one, or the ones that are in the TAM 7, 8, and 9. And this looks like something like the one they've changed on the outdoor units for your suction line temperature outside. They've gone to something like this, and now they're doing it in here as well. So why I changed something that was working, I don't know. So let's get this other one connected and get it turned on and see what happens. Alright guys, alright, we got that done. Sensor swapped out, and run outside and check the refrigerant charge on this thing. Alright guys, we got this thing running. It calls for 8-degree subcooling. Right now we're looking at a 13 superheat, about to be 14, 7.1, 7.0. And we may still be running in first stage. It's a 2-stage unit there. Pressures are looking good. So yeah, the new TAM-X air handlers. There's also one more sensor on there I didn't show you. It's a saturation temperature sensor. So there's 3 sensors on that coil. One on your suction line, which is your gas sensor. One on your one of the cap tube lines that comes off. And there's a piece about that long. It's the only place you can put your evaporator sensor. And that's going to be your orange wires, and now you got one with yellow wires on it, which is plugged about 2/3 of the way up the evaporator coil, and that's your saturation temperature sensor. And they're just adding more crap, is all I can see. But FYI, if you've got the black and the orange wire ET and GT sensors, ET with the black wires, or your GT, your gas sensor with the black wires, and your orange wires for your ET sensors that went on the TAM 7, 8, and 9, they do fit on this. The only difference with that sensor was the wire was brown instead of black, and now they've got that insulated clip on it instead of the non-insulated clip, because you used to have to wrap insulation around them when you put them on. So if you need one in a pinch on a TAM-X, the ET and GT sensors for the TAM 9, TAM 8, TAM 7, orange and black will work. The plugs are the same, they match up, just a different wire color, that's all. That's pointless to me, but it is what it is. So anyway guys, pressures are good. The correct sensor will be here tomorrow. We'll come back and put it on. I'm not going to bring you for that, but that's the difference in the sensors. The wire color and the clip. You gotta love it.